Jai Swaminarayan. Today let's read the 12th passage from the second Gadhadā. This one is titled, The Art of Ruling. Let's dive right into it. On Shravan Vadi the 6th, Samvat 1878, or the 19th of August 1821, Swami Sri Sahajanandji Maharaj was sitting in front of the mandir of Sri Vasudev Narayan on the veranda outside the west-facing rooms of Dada Khachar's Darbar in Gadhadā. He was dressed entirely in white clothes. At that time, an assembly of Paramhansas as well as devotees from various places had gathered before him. Thereupon Sriji Maharaj said, I wish to talk to you, so please listen. In the discourse I am about to deliver, I shall describe only one spiritual endeavor for attaining liberation, but it is so powerful that all other spiritual endeavors are incorporated within it. It is as follows. The jiva, the soul, which resides in the body, feels lust, anger, and other vicious natures are attached to my jiva. In this manner, depending on which of the vicious natures, i.e. lust, anger, avarice, etc., is predominant in a person, they believe their jiva to be full of that nature due to their association with it. But in fact, not a single one of these vicious natures lay within the jiva. The jiva has merely believed itself to possess them out of its own foolishness. Hence, they who wish to attain the highest state of enlightenment should make an effort, but they should not relax or lose courage. Also, they should think, just as the four antahkaranas, the inner faculties of cognition, the 10 indriyas, the outer organs of the body, and the 5 prans, the vital airs or breaths within the body, or energies, reside in this body. Similarly, I am the jivatma, the individual soul, and I also reside in this body. However, I am greater than all of them, and I am their controller. But they should not think I am insignificant, whereas the antahkaranas and indriyas are strong. For example, if a king were to possess little or no intelligence, then even the members of their own family would not obey their orders. They would disobey. When the people in the village hear about this, no one in the village would obey his orders. Further, when the people throughout the kingdom hear about this, no one in the kingdom would obey his orders. As a result, the king would become depressed and powerless. He would sit idly and would not attempt to enforce his rule over anyone. In this analogy, the king symbolizes the jiva, the soul. The members of the household symbolize the antahkaran, the inner faculties of cognition, including the mind, etc., and the people of the village and kingdom symbolize the indriyas, the senses and organs. So if the jiva becomes discouraged and relaxes its authority, then when it wishes to exercise its sovereignty over the antahkaran and orient it towards God, the antahkaran will not follow. Also, if it wishes to control the indriyas, then the indriyas will not comply. Then, even though the jiva is the king of the kingdom in the form of this body, it becomes helpless like a beggar. When a king becomes discouraged, his subjects who live in his kingdom assume power and do not allow him to exercise his authority at all. Likewise, in the kingdom of the jiva, symbolized by this body, lust, anger, and other vicious natures, who are not the king, assume the kingship. Then they do not allow the jiva to exercise control. Thus, they who aspire to attain liberation should never harbor such timidity and should employ whatever measures are necessary to force the Indriyas and Antahkaran to accept their authority. Like a king who studies books about the art of ruling and then exercises authority over his kingdom, but is not subdued by his subjects. However, if the king does not know the art of ruling, the people will not obey his orders, rather they would begin to beat him. Then his country would become desolate, or he himself would behave miserably because no one would obey his rule. In this manner, not knowing the art of ruling results in two unfortunate consequences. Similarly, if the jiva were to attempt to rule the kingdom in the form of the body without understanding the art of ruling, then it would never become happy. Thereafter, Muktanand Swami asked Sriji Maharaj, how should one who aspires to attain liberation learn the art of ruling? Sriji Maharaj replied, the art of ruling should be learnt in the following way. First of all, one should thoroughly realize the glory of God. Then, one should conquer one's mind by meditating on God's form. One should conquer one's ears by listening to discourses related to God, but one should not allow worldly talks to be heard by the ears. In the same manner, the skin should be allowed to touch God and the devotees of God only. The eyes should only be allowed to do darshan, sight of God and his followers. The tongue should forever sing the praises of God and taste only the prasad, sanctified offerings of God. The nose should only be allowed to smell the fragrance of flowers and other objects that have been consecrated by God. None of the indriyas should be allowed to follow the unrighteous path. When a person behaves in this manner, no one can overthrow their authority in the kingdom in the form of their body. Only one who endeavors in this way and totally discards the timidity is said to be walking on the path of liberation. This is an extremely great method for overcoming one's swabhavs. If this method of personal endeavor is practiced vigilantly, then all spiritual endeavors for attaining liberation are incorporated within this one endeavor. Hence, personal endeavor itself is the greatest of all spiritual endeavors for attaining liberation. Thank you for listening. That was the end of the 12th passage of the second Gadhadā of the Vachanāmrut. It is also the 145th discourse, in case you wanted to know that. Until next time, Jai Swaminarayan.